All right. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Call Halayim Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Arachak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of the great millstone who taught us the truth. Honors and salutations to the elect and to the men that died doing the work at Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, because they shut our eyes first. To the men, women, and children that believe on the true name of the Father and the Son. His Father's name is Yahweh, he exists. His Son's name is Yahweh Shai, he is the deliverer, because he come to deliver us out of this captivity that we're in. My name is Mark Oliver Ben Gad Ben Yasseralo at the Church of Philadelphia camp here in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Once again, come back at you with another one, and I just want to do this real swift one. Not going to be super long, just real quick. Concerning Isaiah 1 and 3, and I'm gonna read it in the KJV first, because my grandfather, right? He was a man that he dealt with like ox, donkeys, and that man, gardener, things like that. But check this out. This is Isaiah chapter 1, verse 2. And this is how I know, because the way he raised his donkey, he had a donkey. All right, he named his donkey Queenie, which I ain't gonna tell you where he lived at, but the region he lived in, that they wrote articles on him, Israelite, and that donkey, Queenie, I heard the stories passed down, but my aunt told me, and my mother told me. I was just talking to her yesterday, and that made me think about the scripture here, and I'm like, wow. And I remember my aunt telling me when that donkey came after my grandpa saw, and I think he might have been passed away at this time, but that donkey returned to that house, that it was plowing the field. So Pop had to be, raising the animal, right? And that's what Israel does. But anyway, this is Isaiah chapter 1, and verse 2. It says, "Hear, O heavens, and give ear, O earth, for Yahweh hath spoken. I have nurtured and brought up children, and they have rebelled against me." And a donkey and everything, like animals, they're not going to rebel against you, because they know you, especially if you're treating them right. They're going to I don't even want to say take a liking, but they're going to respect you, basically. They're not going to buck up against you. They're going to do whatever you tell them. It's like a sheep. Now, I bring this up a lot too, as well. Like, we have sheep, and I went to like a slaughterhouse or whatever. But a sheep knows when a lamb, when it runs, and the person comes to grab it, they grab by its hind legs, the two hind legs, it's over. They know it's over, so they just give up. And you put them inside the weigher and weigh them up, And people that buy, like, have stores and things like that, that's money, man. And as a matter of fact, this was like the spot I'm talking about was with the lambs and everything. That was like a Ishmael do running them Jones. But anyway, let's go back. Isaiah chapter 1 and 2, it says, "Oh, hear, O heavens, and give ear, O earth, for Yahweh hath spoken. I have nourished you. I have nourished and brought up children, and they have rebelled against me. The ox knoweth his owner." See that? That's the point right there. That's why I'm doing this lesson real fast. It says, "The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib." See that? The ass his master's crib, but Israel doth not know. No, so it's like it says, "But Israel doth not know, my people doth not consider." So basically, they don't consider who their power is. And this is the significance of the story, because this donkey Queenie, all right, and we're considered as the Lord's women, So this donkey was actually a woman that came back to who his master, all right, the one that took care of it, and the one that was in the field with it helped it, and that's this a message basically like for the elect, man, too, because the elect knows who the Father is. The elect knows who the Son is. All right, Yahweh, they know that's the Father. They know Yahweh Shai is the Son. All right. So this story just it struck me. That's why I wanted to share it because it's very interesting to me. But I'm gonna grab this Isaiah chapter 1 and 2 in the NLT. It says, "Listen, O heavens, pay attention, earth. This is what Yahweh says. The children I raised and cared for have rebelled against me." And yo, look at our people. They rebel against the Lord. You know, matter of fact, you go outside and children, like, when I be sitting in certain places and I look and, you know, they say the dead bodies. That's what I call them because they don't understand who they are. So if they did, they would conduct themselves in a whole bunch of different in a royal way. I like to say that, in a royal way, you know. But going out there and you just see like how they act and like things that's going on with them. Like it's sad, man, and it hurts, you know. But they're royal people. They don't know who their master is. Hey, Shalom, bro. How about you, my brother, Bong Bong. It's my brother right there, man. But they don't consider, and that's just the reason why I'm sharing the story with my grandfather, because he actually had a come brother, come. The brother my grandfather actually had a ox. You know, I said the name was Queenie and everything, and that's why I'm bringing this scripture out, because it's very relevant, and I like to compare, a lot of things from nature, because Apostle Paul even mentioned that, But let's go back to this Isaiah 1 and 2 again. It says, "Listen, O heavens, pay attention." And this is in the NLT. It says, "Listen, O heavens, pay attention, earth. This is what Yahweh says says, the children I raised," and that's us. "The children I raised, cared for at Slakia, I raised and cared for, have rebelled against me." They're rebellious. All right. It says, even an ox knows his owner. Even an ox knows his owner, and a donkey recognizes its master's care. All right. And that's just the point right here in 3. It says, "But Israel does not know its master. My people don't recognize my care for them." You know, like I said, like my grandpa, like my aunt, she said, when my grandpa, my pop, I believe at this time he had perished away, but that donkey that was his thing. He, like he used to have it was like a sled he had on the back, and he would ride on that, and Queenie would pull him. But my auntie said when he sold it to this one people, I guess they didn't do the donkey. They didn't do the donkey right, or the ass or the ox right. They didn't do it right. But that donkey came back to my grandfather's house, and my auntie told me, she said she saw Don. She said the Queenie had a tear in her eye. That's why I say, right. It says, even an ox knows its owner, and a donkey recognizes its master's care. All right. So obviously my papa was taking care of that animal, and it knew where to come back to get that care. But our people, they don't consider that. They don't understand that. They don't know they don't even know that. Our people don't even understand that they're Israelites, man. And they chase after all these different gods, deities, and they're looking for comfort in that. But an animal and a donkey, an ox is a stubborn animal. Check this out. Let's get it real fast. Let's get the characteristics of a donkey or ass. To make a real quick point, then I'm gonna close it up. All right, because I didn't want this to be too long. What's the characteristics of a donkey? See, yo, check this out. Here it goes. Now a donkey. All right, it says donkeys are intelligent, strong, and enduring mammals, known for their long ears, sturdy build, and characteristics bring sound. Their key characteristics include a keen sense of self-preservation, and a deep memory. You see that? So that animal knew where to come to. Let me go back to where I belong. That's why it says it. Even the ox knows the matter and everything, right? Um, it goes another one, right? And that's why this is the like when Yahweh Shah rode into I believe it was Jerusalem. When Yahweh Shah rode into Jerusalem, he rode on the back of a donkey. Our people are stubborn, right? It says their key characteristics include a keen sense of self-preservation and a deep memory, which contribute to a reputation for being stubborn. All right, for being stubborn, but are actually signs of their cautious decisions making ability. All right, are they cautious? Says caution, decision making ability. They are sociable, form strong bonds. All right, they're sociable and they form strong bonds, and are adapted to survive in challenging environments with limited resources. You know, that's a characteristic. Then and Yahweh Shah rode on the back of that into Jerusalem, and he named all the animals, man. All right, so I just wanted to share that real fast. You know, so Lord's willing, this is edifying. He got some write-ups with that. I'm gonna give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Arachak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone, taught us the truth. Honors and salutations to the elect. To the next lesson, I'm going to say Mawafa Baba Ball, Kwame Asherala. Shalom.